Well, sweet. So my name is Miles. I'm a home builder here in the Flathead Valley, and today I brought Beth with me to talk about what we're doing to make home ownership more affordable and attainable for buyers of our homes in Kalispell and the greater Flathead Valley. So I guess without further ado, we
Yeah.
can kind of get into it. So Beth, what are we doing? How does this help our buyers in
Yep.
the long run?
Perfect. So thanks, Miles. We are excited to be working together with Terry Homes to bring more affordable homes to the valley. We work together on a permanent rate buy down solution where builders are able to set rates on properties that they're selling. And those are permanent rate buy downs, and it's saving borrowers typically between $400 to $500 a month in your price point, from where a market rate might be to where the rate offering that you're offering will be.
And so what I've found, I mean, we've been building homes in the Flathead Valley for 31 years now. Our target market, our goal is to build an affordable quality home. We aren't able to cut more costs out of the house while maintaining the quality that I require and
Yeah.
that we require on our homes. So doing something like this and finding this opportunity has made the ability for us to make homeownership and the goal and the dream of it a reality for so many people.
Yeah. And one of the neat things we see with our builder partners with the forward commitment rates is that it does take a buyer's purchasing power up by about 22% is what we've seen. So if you have a buyer that's qualified at say $400,000, they can jump up to about $488,000 and keep that monthly payment the same. And throughout the lending, we're finding monthly payment is the pain point for borrowers right now. And when they look at one of your properties and see that that permanent rate is there and they're saving between $400 to $500 a month, you start looking at that over 5 to 6 years of a loan, and it's tens and tens of thousands of dollars in interest that borrowers are saving.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but to my understanding, if they held that loan for a 30-year term, they're going to save hundreds of thousands
Oh,
of dollars,
absolutely, absolutely.
which is just
So,
immense.
if it's a $500 a month savings, in 12 months they've saved $6,000. So you multiply that by 10 years, that's $60,000 in interest that buyers are not spending, being able to have access to a program like this.
And I mean, the program on its own, like I view it as a win, win, and a win. I get to sell more homes. You're going to be getting more loans, and then our buyers are getting homes at monthly payments that are much more attainable,
Exactly.
22% more
Yep.
attainable.
And also,
roughly.
we're seeing a lot with the first time home buyers. They're also purchasing a home that has a year warranty with it. And so they're not having to maybe purchase a home that's a resale that's going to need fix up. They have the opportunity to get into a brand new home, be protected by a home warranty, and still keep that payment where they can afford it.
Yeah, it's insane what it's able to do, and it's been working well now we've been doing it for 9 months now.
Yeah.
And this isn't a new concept. What
Right.
we're doing, it's what all the national home builders do,
Yep.
what many of the regional home builders do. They just work with larger
Yep.
industries.
So at OneTrust, we do work with some large scale builders throughout the country that are putting up probably 1,000 doors plus a month on some of them, or a year. But we also wanted to bring this opportunity to other markets where maybe builders are putting up between 3 to 40 doors a year. And we wanted to make that attainable to other home buyers as well and help encourage people that are feeling gridlocked by interest rates get ahead of the market. If they're waiting for rates to fall, they don't have to wait. The rate is lower here. It's a permanent rate. And borrowers are just able to, get in before rates naturally fall.
And I look at it as probably one of the best opportunities right now for us to truly try to hit home that, hey, we are an affordable quality home builder. That is what our goal is. I know the definition of affordable has now maybe changed a little bit in the market. That's still our goal. I'm not necessarily doing, specific housing in that regard for it, but I don't want to indoctrinate somebody else to paying somebody else's mortgage payment.
Exactly.
And so by getting an opportunity for them to get in there, to get their foot in the door in home ownership, and what that means for the life of their life
Yes.
is tremendous.
Yeah, exactly. And it does. I mean, you see people that are able to put roots down in the community by being able to afford a home. And that only strengthens and increases the community, be it nurses, doctors, firefighters, teachers. I mean, I know we've done a lot of transactions with people in those lines of work, and the importance to the community by, retaining good people that are, working in the medical field or the service fields is huge. And this has been a great vehicle for that to happen.
So Beth, who can use the forward commitment?
So with a forward commitment, anybody can use the forward commitment as long as they qualify for whichever loan program they're choosing. So if it was a borrower that came and wanted a VA loan, they have to be eligible for that. They can go as low as 0 down. They just have to fit those program guidelines. Same thing with FHA. They just have to put 3.5% down or have it gifted by a qualified family member and then conform to the rest of the guidelines for that loan, even as if they were buying a resale. It's the exact same thing.
So it works for a very wide amount of different loan programs.
Yeah, I don't think, especially since we've been working on this account together, I don't think we've had one come that didn't qualify for one of the different loan options. So nothing unusual there. It's a permanent buy down, so they don't have to feel the need of like, oh gosh, if rates don't fall within a year, how do I refinance? It's a temporary buy down. These are permanent buy downs on 30-year fixed loans where they don't have to worry about refinancing if the market stays above where they are.
And so with Terry Home's goal of being a home builder is to build and sell homes.
Yeah.
And so through the forward commitment, I mean, we're seeing great success on selling homes.
Yes.
Many of our market is not right now.
Yeah, you guys are outpacing. I mean, and even within OneTrust, the other builder accounts that we all discuss, you are outpacing a lot of the different accounts. And I think that just speaks volumes to the need in the Valley for quality homes that are affordable. And without, like you say, without having to compromise on quality, this is an opportunity for home buyers to have that monthly payment lower and make it more affordable for them to get in.
And we're not going to talk about what the monthly payment is today because that changes based on the house.
Yes.
But when it's compared to rent here in the Flathead Valley, that's what I've seen, which is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And, rent, they say statistically will go up 6% a year. So having a fixed mortgage payment, if you're renting, you probably have to consider things like, what if somebody sells the home I'm in, like an investor buys it, or, they have to keep prices coming up by a certain percentage in the rent. So this, again, takes away that instability for borrowers, and they're putting their money towards their own asset. Yeah.
I look at it, I love the word, like the dichotomy of the housing industry. Because, rental prices, home prices, land costs, development costs, they all kind of move and flow together.
Yeah.
And when we're able to be building homes at competitive monthly payments as opposed to rent, it's outstanding.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really goes back to it's a win, win, and a win.
Yeah, it is.
And I guess that's part of why I wanted to bring you in here today is to create the opportunity to talk about this to the public.
And just open it up to questions. If buyers are feeling like they're sitting on the sidelines waiting on rates to go down, I mean, just call one of us and ask a question about it and see if it's something that would work. Or if you're a real estate agent and you've got buyers that are stuck and you just can't seem to find them anything in their price point, think about what it could do for them if their budget could go up by 22% buying power and keep that payment the same. Would that help facilitate a transaction there and get somebody in a home who's maybe feeling a little bit reserved about it right now?
I think, what we're doing, how it's been working so far has been probably a huge asset to all of our buyers.
Yeah.
And again, I don't have to drop the quality of our house. I don't want to build a bad house.
Yeah.
And so by being able to find a way to meet buyers where they need to be met to become new homeowners and homeowners is outstanding.
And one of the things too, I think is important that we talk about is how most of your stand-in inventory went really fast. And you guys are working with buyers who are, maybe you're finishing up the home in October, November, but they still have that opportunity to come and take advantage of this with knowing it'll be a few more months till their homes are done.
Well, at Terry Homes, there's really two ways for somebody to go about purchasing a home. One would be an inventory home, and that's where my team goes through and we professionally curate all the designs. Second one is a pre-sold, where the homeowner gets to pick the lot, the floor plan, structural options, elevations, and then over 400 selection choices for them to choose from on their new house.
Yeah, exactly.
So it works for both. And it really is a great opportunity for somebody to get into a new home in the Flathead Valley.
Yep. And I think one other thing quickly to touch on is protecting the investment of the buyer. So if you have a buyer that comes in and purchases one of your homes, the last thing they want is the home next door to be slashed in price, and then a comparable sale for them, it could take away from the equity position they're in. This is an awesome way for you to keep your home prices stable, and that also protects all of the equity of the people in your neighborhoods. You know, as I was saying, you don't want your neighborhood to start to have massive price reductions because it impacts the value of all the homes in that neighborhood.
And my ability to build a house.
Exactly.
If I don't have a house selling because it costs too much and the sales price is too high, it's just not going to sell.
Exactly.
I have a carrying cost there.
Yeah.
So I won't want to build a house next to that.
Yeah.
I'll stop building homes
Exactly.
if I can't make the equation work.
Yeah.
Equation being works for a buyer, works for all of the costs for it, and they can then own that house.
Exactly. Yeah, and to kind of reverse that situation, if you had a house for $485 and a buyer just felt like, gosh, I just can't do that monthly payment, or they just flat couldn't qualify, it would be using a forward commitment rate. It's the equivalent of you having to price cut to $400,000.
Yeah.
So what does that do for the value of the neighborhood if you've got builders cutting price? Because again, everybody that's already established in there, their equity is impacted by that.
Builders can only do so much on a price
100%.
before they have to stop building.
Exactly.
And I think we're seeing a lot of that in our market today and currently with home builders who aren't using a forward commitment or a permanent rate buy down.
Yep.
And so I'm ecstatic with what we're seeing, with what it's doing for our buyers, and with how we're all winning.
Yeah.
It really is. It's three different parties coming together and winning.
Yep. Very good. So one of the questions I get asked a lot is, how did the builder partnership between us come about? And at OneTrust, we work with a lot of different builders all over the country, and we really like to look for partners that we know will be a good cultural fit for us. So I just reached out to you one day, Miles, via email and said, hey, we have this really great opportunity. Would you have interest?
I'd known like the concept of what a forward commitment was, but I didn't know anybody who would do it. I'd go and, I'd reach out to different lenders in the Flathead Valley and ask them like, hey, what creative loan, opportunities can we do?
Yeah.
And they'd give me something like a 2-1 buy down or a 3-1 buy down, which I believe are a little gimmicky.
Yep.
And then when I saw your email, it was, I knew I had to jump on that.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a basis of what a forward commitment is.
Yeah.
And you guys did a great job explaining that and getting me fully up to speed.
Yeah.
And now what I'm seeing on market performance is something completely different.
Yep.
And I suppose to comment on that, on how the forward commitment is helping us, helping you, help the buyer.
Exactly.
And what we're doing here is, we started the year with a goal of we were going to build 35 homes this year. That's how many we wanted to sell. It's June.
Yeah.
We've sold 30.
Yeah.
And to even kind of break that down a little further about how important the forward commitment is, we can look at our competitors.
Yeah.
And right now, with how expensive it is to build a house, with what our costs are, with how much our median income is for buyers, it's not a very conducive market.
Exactly.
And what are we doing? We've got 30 homes under contract in June.
Yeah.
Our goal was 35. Most of them are using that forward commitment.
Yes.
Because it can make the dream of home ownership attainable to buyers.
And it's a really creative way to reduce the cost to the buyer without reducing the quality of the home. You're reducing their costs simply through the interest rate that they're paying. So it's just less interest going to a bank. You're not having to cut corners to reduce the price to get the payment where it's affordable and people can buy. So just you, Terry Homes alone, that's 30 people you have put into houses thus far in a market that is widely talked about being, a very expensive market and hard for people to get into home ownership.
Well, and we've been building homes for 31 years. It's a lot of it for us is, if we don't have homes sell, our trade contractors, our trade partners, what do they do?
Exactly.
Are we going to lose being the consistent work for them?
Yeah. And on that note, we've put several of your trades in homes
That's very
with
true.
this product,
Yeah.
which is awesome because it does keep them here, keep them working, get their roots established, get their children in school, things like that, to where they want to stay in the community and build a stronger community for everybody.
And so to hit home on the importance of what this has been for us since we've started it, I'll look at competitors again. so far this year, I know some of my secondary and primary competitors have had, less than 10 home sales. We're halfway through the year. They could usually build 60 in a year. So
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be out where I'm at this year without the forward commitment.
Yeah. In reference to another builder partner we have in a different state, they instituted a forward commitment, and it was 45 days, and they had, I can't remember the exact number, but it was 30 applications. And once they put in the forward commitment program, the next 45 days, they saw an increase in applications of 279%. That's how fast it helped put people into the homes. And the other thing that I think gets overlooked a little bit is they had said, we don't have a lot of VA buyers. And then we said, okay, so once we offered this program and the VA buyers could get in there at a 4.8750 down, their VA buying pool went up. It was 30 to 40% more buyers that came utilizing a VA loan when they thought that wasn't even a market for them.
Well, and there's different rates as well for buyers to go to.
Yep.
And for us to be able to work around.
Exactly.
Because there's with like everything, there's going to be a pro and a con.
Sure.
And right now we're winning on. We're playing with a bunch of pros.
Yeah.
We've got a better deal for us. We're selling more homes.
Yep.
The lender's getting more loans done.
Yep.
And guess what? Our buyers are being able to actually buy a house.
Yeah.
That's not something that is very attainable.
Right.
In our valley right
and
now.
I think too, what we're seeing, as a company nationally, is this is really helping bring inventory into markets. One of the biggest problems in this valley is an inventory issue. So you have people that might be in a 2 or 3 or, a very low interest rate, and they're gridlocked. They don't want to move because they know they're going to move into a 6.5% rate. When builders are able to keep moving their inventory, keep creating more inventory, it will help alleviate some of that pressure of just not having a lot of inventory in the valley, which does drive the prices really high.
And to do that, I need to be able to build homes at a price point where people can afford them.
Yeah.
Without doing a forward commitment, without having this partnership exist, there'd be no way.
So Miles, one of the questions that I do get from prospective buyers that call me about your homes is this an owner-occupied only opportunity? And the answer to that is no. So do you want to touch in a little bit about why you guys decided to incorporate non-owner occupied opportunity in this?
And a lot of it is like, we're trying to build and sell homes.
Yeah.
We're not going to discriminate against who can buy a house. I mean, why would anybody do that?
Right.
And so then it gets into the level of, well, who all may want to purchase our home? And it's not always just an owner occupied.
Correct.
So through what we have going today and going on, it's not only going to owner occupied.
Right.
Investors can be getting into it. And realistically, that allows our trades to stay busier.
Exactly.
It gets more homes into the market, which if there's more homes, that can then, looking at the dichotomy of the housing industry, starts to reduce monthly rental payments.
Exactly.
We need houses.
Yeah.
I want to keep building and selling houses.
Exactly.
And therefore, by having a program set up for investors that makes it much better for them than what they're going to be able to find on the open market.
And it helps them be able to keep the rent manageable because they're not getting into a property at a 7.5% interest rate and have that hanging over their head, knowing rents have to stay a certain place, or that might be an adjustable rate mortgage or something that's going to shift on them. This would be a permanent rate for an investment buyer. Therefore, it's easier for them to keep their rent stable.
Exactly. And I will say, I mean, the communities of which I'm building, we can't do shorter than 30-term day rentals.
Right.
So each of the individuals getting into these houses, they're going to be there on either a month-to-month or a lease program.
Exactly.
So it's not like we're building a house for an Airbnb.
Right. Exactly.
So thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm hoping we were able to get some nice, useful nuggets for you to use and to think about and ponder. Thank you, Beth, for coming in and giving me the opportunity to start explaining what it really is that we're doing and how it's such a benefit to buyers.
Well, and thank you to you at Terry Homes, too, for being willing to listen and having the meetings we had and hearing how this has really changed opportunity for home ownership for borrowers all over the country. And what a great opportunity that it's now been brought here to the Flathead Valley.
And so if anything in this video piqued your interest, feel free to reach out to either of us. But we're here to answer your questions. We're here to help get you to your dream and through your dream of owning a house.